Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing the second half of the What Sold video, which would be Friday through Sunday, July 3rd through the 5th. We actually left on our trip during this. I had changed everything over to 3-day handling. So frankly, the sales are down. It never fails when I mess with the handling. Some people just don't want to wait. They just move on to the next item, and my sales kind of take a little bit of a hit. But that's okay. That's okay. It picked up after a few days, so I'm not going to complain. But we're glad to be back. We still don't have air conditioning out here. We're going to have to get a part ordered. So it's going to be hard to work out here when it's 80 degrees. Even me, who doesn't like being cold, this is not fun. This is not good at all.
And they won't replace the part. It's under warranty, but there was a power outage, so they don't replace the part then.
Yeah, so we got to get that ordered hopefully this afternoon, so we can maybe have some cool air before the end of the week. Because frankly, I got stuff to do. And I've taken care of a few things, but I'm really not going to stay out here any longer. It's just hot.
How was the sourcing?
The sourcing was amazing. I absolutely love St. Louis. Love St. Louis. I like Dayton, but I love St. Louis. We found some nice stuff, things that are $100 plus items. And, we're paying $2.09 a pound there, so it was a good time. We got a chance to meet up with our friends Francis and Mike, and then we met up with a viewer. The first time we're meeting up with her. Her name was Lisa. We met her at Bridgeton. And then there was another lady, and please, if you're watching this, leave your name down in the comment, because neither one of us got it, and I feel bad about that. We've talked to you before, but I feel bad that neither one of us asked your name. We were also able to meet up with our friend Amy. Every time we go to St. Louis, almost, we've been able to meet up with her, and we all did lunch together, so it was fun. But yeah, it was fun. I'm ready. It's still all out in the truck. We've got to get it drug in. It's nonstop rain here. Nonstop. So we'll get it in here. I just really don't want to get the bags wet and then they'll just be sitting. So at some point we'll get them out of the truck and start making videos of the stuff that we found. But for now, let's go ahead. I had sales. Let me look real quick. I had sales on Poshmark, Depop, and eBay that weekend. Robert actually had quite a few sales also, I think, on Poshmark and eBay.
We had some shipping updates on USPS started yesterday, I guess it was. So yep. We'll talk about them here in a bit and what we've seen from it.
So let me share with you some of the things that sold. First, we'll start with Poshmark. First thing, I've done really well with these Lego plush. They don't sell for a whole lot, but this one wasn't listed very long, and it sold on Poshmark for $12. Kohl's Cares, little pink unicorn. I pick up most of them that are in great condition. I always think I'm going to be able to find books to go with them, and I haven't yet. I look at yard sales, but this unicorn sold for $13 on Posh. This was a Baby Gonz Cuddler Lovey Bear plush. It sold for $10. This was a very quick sell. I think Robert picked this up at the Dayton Bins, our last trip. It is The Stand by Stephen King. It was the complete uncut version, hardcover, and it sold very quickly on Poshmark for $30. I picked this up at an estate sale not too long ago. I think I paid $2 each, so a little bit up for me, but I just loved them. I had never seen Furby Christmas ornaments, and these 4 from $19.99 sold for $29. And then on Depop, I had 3 sales. First was this Monster High Draculaurus Pet plush, and it sold for $13.50. And then this was a Handy Manny mini screwdriver replacement. It's supposed to go in that little musical toolbox. A lot of times I find these And I'll go ahead and list even if I have one, thinking when I find another one, I'll just add that one to my listing. But this one sold before I ever found any more. I took an offer of $6 on Depop. And Depop did away with the free shipping for those of you who hadn't noticed yet or are considering joining Depop, but the shipping is really, really inexpensive still. So I'm still making quite a few sales on there. Last thing on Depop was this Sanrio Sugar Bunnies Carosa plush from 2010, and it sold very quickly on Depop for $30. And then eBay, just a few to share with you. First was this Apple Park Organic Violet Owl Rattle and Lovey Lot. I picked this up a long time ago at a consignment sale. I want to say I paid up for it, like $3 for one and $5 for the other, something like that. So it took forever to sell. And I usually do really well with Apple Park. I don't find it very often. And I just knew it was going to be a slam dunk home run thing. Nope, finally sold for $15. Got my money back, right? I picked this up at an estate sale. I picked up a whole lot of littles. One day they were all 50 cents each, and then we went back the second time and they were 25% off. So we paid like 37 cents or something for them. So I don't know which day I got this. This is Vintage Littlest Pet Shop. It is a cute little pony with its saddle from 1993, and it sold for $11.66.
So now we have to artfully start this, like, before you go on to the next item, even though we're at the end because I forgot, let's talk about the USPS shipping changes. It seems like the official word from eBay, well, the official word from USPS was they were getting rid of all the ounce tiers in between 0 and 15 ounces, right, or in a pound. Yeah. And they were all going to be one flat rate in there. But eBay, with their special contract, was still going to have the 4, 8, 12, and 15 ounce tiers. And that seemed to be the way it was on everything we shipped out today. This is Monday after we got back from our sourcing trip. And everything in Rebel Store went out that way. But I had one item that no matter what we put in for the ounces was all the same price. And Jossie Squatchy, one of our local friends here, it sells online too, he had the same thing where well, what his issue was that something was cheaper to ship to California than it was to Kentucky. And he's here in Tennessee with us. So, well,
this item, yeah, because I saw some of that. I saw, for most of my stuff, it was the price, the normal price. There was a fluctuation in the price that, if I had it for 8 ounces, if I changed it to 4, the price changed. But that one item in Roberts, I kept checking. I kept going back and forth, just seeing if any of them were going to be these weird happenstance stuff that, eBay said wasn't going to be happening, but kind of sort of did happen anyway. I haven't quite figured out why, but it seems to be stuff that was close. The one thing that we noticed for Robert was something being shipped to Ohio. And I think I had put it in as 8 ounces, but when I went to 12 ounces, it was the same price. When I went to 15 ounces, it was the same price. I dropped it down to 4 ounces, same price. It was like $7 or $8, something ridiculous, to Ohio. But yeah, I saw lots of posts about it, so I'm not quite sure why it's some and not others, because it was supposed to only be Hawaii, Alaska, and our military addresses, the APOs. So I don't know what's quite going on, but I think it's gonna happen.
There's something squirrely in the shipping system with USPS right now, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anybody else see the weird changing? Not even didn't change. No matter what you put in from 0 to 15 ounces, it was the same rate. And it was a lot. So I don't know. Why can't eBay have the same, shipping programs that Poshmark has and Depop has? Depop, you can ship a 10-pound box on Depop right now for $5.99. I know maybe they're eating it.
It would be nice if eBay had from like 0 up to 2 pounds would be like a cheap rate, and then from 3 to 5 might be a little more expensive. Who knows what kind of haggling they do behind the scenes to work out these rates and tiers, because they're not the same for the different platforms, unless the post office is charging the same to everybody and the platforms are just structuring it internally that they're either getting some extra money on the shipping or eating some of the shipping costs.
So if you do flat rate shipping, I'm not sure quite sure how you're going to be planning this out. I went ahead and changed last year after the several price changes that I saw. I couldn't keep up and I was tired of changing everything. So I just went and changed everything that I have to calculated shipping. So this didn't affect me very much, other than seeing the ridiculous prices again. There's no accounting for which of your items is going to, be the $7, $8, $9 for a 4-ounce package versus, everybody else's packages. So yeah, I think it's going to hurt sales.
All right, well, let's pretend we're going on to the next item now.
All right. Bear Factory, not a brand I pick up very often. Not quite sure how I got it, because I saw tons of Bear Factory this time at the Benz in St. Louis. Did not pick up a single one. Maybe it got picked up because of the outfit. I don't know. But it sold for $9.95. This was from a yard sale a couple months. Let me see. May we went and I picked up a whole tote. Well, Robert found it. Picked up a whole tote of vintage child-sized dishes. And this was one of the things in it. I paid $15 for the whole tote. I've already sold several things in there for quite a bit of money. But this was a miniature, almost like a salesman sample meat grinder. And it sold on eBay for $22.45.
Worked too.
It worked.
If you cranked
yeah.
it was, I'm not sure what it would have ground up, but it was interesting that it actually worked.
Thai Pluffies, I love them. I pick up most of them. This was Woods the Bear, and it sold for $13.45. Gund Noah the Gnome from 1981. Very interesting looking plush. Sold for $11.66. We've just picked these up at a yard sale, I want to say a couple weekends ago. Robert found them down in a tote. We paid $0.25 each for them. They are American Greetings Sticker World, like neon stickers from 1997. And they ended up selling very, very, very quickly for a $40 offer. Can't beat that. $125 into $40. Hasbro Softies. I love Hasbro and Play School and Fisher Price. I tend to pick up most of them. A lot of the like Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, that series doesn't do very well, but I love them. And this one sold for $13.45. And last but not least is Commonwealth, another brand I like. This was a yellow duck plush, and it sold for $17.95. And then for Robert, first thing that sold was Mercari. Thank goodness we finally sold something on Mercari. It has been received. We've not been rated or whatever yet, because we're at a standstill on Mercari in his store. You're only allowed to list 100 till you sell 5 things. Then you get 500 listings. And then after that, for a little bit longer, every one thing you sell, you get another 100 listings. So we've just kind of been stalled at 500. So hopefully there won't be an issue with this. And we'll finally get another 100 things to list on Mercari. But these were some Life Stride women's snappy sandals, sold for $13.50. And then on Poshmark, we sold this Herman Geist denim jacket. I remember picking this up at a yard sale. I just really thought it was going to sell quicker, but it didn't. It's taken a while, and we've marked it down a couple of times. It finally sold on Poshmark for $33. American Eagle women's artist flare jeans. Flare is hot right now. These sold pretty quickly on Poshmark for $25. LEI women's shorts. We're selling a lot of shorts right now. This pair sold for $16. And last but not least on Poshmark was this Earthbound Trading Company little sundress, and it sold for $14. Then on Depop, yay, sold a pair of Old Navy women's shorts for $13.
I noticed on the app on Depop recently, I was looking at something in your store, I think, that it sold. And it said that it sold, but if I liked it and I clicked the heart on it or something, that Depop would send a message to whoever bought it and let them know that I would like to buy it from them, which is, I guess, kind of an oddball, neat maybe feature. Kind
of like reposhing on Poshmark. Yeah, that's very interesting. And then for eBay, Talbot's is, what did the kids used to say? Because I'm already out of it. Talbots are the bomb.
Hip, cool, bad.
I don't know. They sell well for us. And this pair of shorts sold for $14. Pilcrow, the letterpress pants. Hadn't heard of that. I'm pretty sure I remember this is an Anthropologie brand, and they sold for $12. Foxcroft women's linen top sold for $10 offer. Another Talbot's little Irish linen sleeveless top sold for $10.04. And then these sold very quickly. We picked this up at a local thrift store for $3.50. And they were these Mickey Unlimited women's little short talls. And they sold very quickly for $39.
That was another item that had a lot of interest on Depop.
But somebody on eBay grabbed it.
I accepted like 4 offers or something on it on Depop. Nobody bought it.
Yeah, Depop, you can accept their offers, but they don't have to pay. But I am learning, if you see an offer pop up on Depop, I get messages on my phone. If you accept it right away, a lot of times they pay. Just words of wisdom from what I'm learning about Depop. All right, y'all. These are just some of the things we're selling. It got better after a few days into our trip, so I'll have more things to share with you in the next videos. But until then, it's time to get to work. Bye.